Most women lost a good man just because. Intro, soft music, reflective tone. Most women don't realize the worth of a good man until his silence becomes louder than his words, until his absence feels heavier than his presence. They often think he'll stay no matter what, that he'll keep forgiving, keep understanding, keep waiting, because that's what good men do, right? But even the kindest hearts have a breaking point. And when a good man finally walks away, he doesn't do it out of anger. He does it out of exhaustion, from being unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. This is the truth most women never realize until it's too late. Part 1. The Silent Good Man. He was never the type to argue much. He didn't shout, didn't play mind games, didn't try to prove his worth. He believed love meant peace, not chaos. He showed his love through consistency, through little things, a text to check on her, a hand to hold during silence, a look that said, "I'm here," but she mistook his calmness for weakness, his patience for passivity, his loyalty for predictability. And like many women do, she began to crave something more exciting. See, psychology says when a person gets too comfortable, their brain starts seeking novelty, newness. The dopamine that once came from love now demands a new thrill. And that's where most women lose a good man, not because he stopped loving her, but because she started chasing excitement over stability. Part 2. The Cycle of Misunderstanding. Most good men aren't perfect communicators. They don't always express hurt in words, they express it in withdrawal. He stops arguing not because he stopped caring, but because he knows no matter what he says, he'll be misunderstood. So he chooses silence. And that silence is deadly, because while she's thinking he's fine, he's slowly packing his emotions away, one by one, until he's emotionally gone. Psychologically, this is called emotional fatigue. It happens when one partner keeps giving love and understanding, but receives very little in return. And when that fatigue hits, even a loving heart starts to shut down. That's how most good men leave, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly. Part 3. Why she didn't see it coming. Most women never expect the good man to leave, because he never threatened to. He never raised his voice. He never made her feel like she'd lose him. He just loved, fully, patiently, wholeheartedly. But the problem is, people take consistency for granted. When love feels safe, the human mind sometimes starts to undervalue it. Psychologists call this the comfort paradox. When people feel too secure, they stop putting effort. And when that happens, love starts to fade not because something bad happened, but because nothing new happened. So when he finally leaves, it shocks her. She suddenly realizes what she had, and that realization comes with pain, the kind of pain that words can't fix. Part 4. The Regret Phase. When a good man leaves, a woman's mind goes through stages. At first, she denies it. He'll come back. He always does. Then comes confusion. Why did he stop texting? Why is he so distant? Then comes guilt. Maybe I pushed him too far. Maybe I shouldn't have said those things. And finally, regret. That deep, painful regret that stays for years. Because deep down, she knows she didn't lose him all at once. She lost him little by little, moment by moment. Every time she dismissed his feelings. Every time she made him feel unseen. Every time she assumed he'd always be there. And now, every man she meets after him, she subconsciously compares to him. Part 5. The Psychology Behind It All. Let's talk about what really happens in her mind. Psychologically, women are more emotionally driven, but also more selective in long-term attachment. They tend to value emotional excitement early in relationships, attention, novelty, tension. But as relationships mature, what truly sustains love isn't intensity, it's emotional safety, something a good man naturally provides. However, if she hasn't healed from her past, if she equates peace with boredom, She'll unintentionally sabotage that peace. She'll create drama where there's calm, distance where there's closeness, and confusion where there's love. Why? Because chaos feels familiar. And familiarity, even when painful, feels safer to the unhealed mind than peace ever will. That's the hidden psychology behind why some women lose good men. They crave what they're used to, not what's good for them. Part 6. The Turning Point. Months later, when she finally finds herself alone, scrolling through old messages, replaying his laughter, reading his words that once felt ordinary but now feel like gold, it hits her. She realizes he wasn't boring. He was stable. He wasn't too calm. He was emotionally mature. He didn't stop arguing because he didn't care. He stopped because he cared too much to fight a losing battle. And that realization burns deeper than heartbreak, because now she knows she didn't just lose a man. She lost a man, the one who would have stood by her even when she wasn't easy to love. Part 7. The Unspoken Truth. Here's the truth. Good men don't just appear every day. They're rare because kindness, loyalty, and consistency take years of self-growth to build. And once a good man leaves, he doesn't come back. Not because he stopped loving, but because he finally learned to love himself enough to walk away. He will sit in silence for a while, healing. He will question himself, wonder if he was too much or not enough. But eventually, he'll realize he gave everything he could. And one day, when another woman sees the value that was once overlooked, she'll treat him the way he always deserved. And that's when his silence becomes peace again. Part 8. Her Lesson. For the woman, the lesson arrives late, but it arrives. She learns that love isn't about constant thrill. It's about emotional safety. That a man's silence doesn't always mean indifference. Sometimes it means he's tired of not being heard. That boring love is actually the kind of love that never leaves. And she learns that in a world full of temporary attention, a man who offers consistent affection is priceless. Part 9. Closing Message. So to every woman listening, if you have a good man, don't test his love endlessly. Don't assume he'll stay no matter what. Because even the strongest heart grows cold when it's unloved for too long. And to every man who's been there, who gave his all and still ended up empty, remember, walking away doesn't mean you failed. It means you finally chose peace over pain. Outro. Calm music, deep voiceover tone. Most women lose a good man not because he stopped loving her, but because she kept believing he never would. And when that belief breaks, it's too late, because a good man, once gone, never looks back. He just wishes her peace and silently thanks the universe for teaching him that love, no matter how deep, must first start with self-respect. Subscribe now to Psych Secrets and be part of a journey where every video inspires you to see life with a new perspective.